What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batgirl, the Art of Crime figure. And so here we have the McFarlane DC Multiverse Batgirl posed and out of the packaging. Before we have a look at the figure, let's actually take a look at what she comes with. Batgirl does come with the left side of the Batmobile, which we'll have a better look at in its own little video. She also does come with a really big Batarang. It's kind of oversized, it's goofy looking. And she also does come with a grapnel gun, which has a really nice sculpt, but I'm not too keen on the wire on it, but it still looks really good. Other than that, Batgirl doesn't come with anything else. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually have a closer look at Batgirl. And so here we have a closer look at the McFarlane Multiverse Batgirl. And initial fears when I saw the prototype for it, I thought the face was a little bit goofy. I still think the face is a little bit stylized. It's not goofy like I thought it was. It's stylized, so it does look good for the sculpt, and the sculpt is really nice on it. I do like the fact that they did go the extra mile and paint both eyes on, although you can see her right eye is kind of looking off to the left side while her left eye is looking straight. Not a big deal because the hair will cover it, but that is something to note, and that's really something you can't see until you actually have the figure in hand. Really do like the lipstick on her. They went with a really dark lipstick, which it is right for the Batgirl, but again, I more prefer the cowl than the face mask, so that's just one personal preference. It's not a knock against the figure. Really love the hair that McFarlane did here. It's a really nice sculpt, and just the amount of paint in it is good. There's some brown highlights, some dark wash, and some lighter brown. I don't know the actual color of the plastic because it's actually sculpted all the way around and painted all the way around, so I don't know the initial color of the hair, but it is a separate appliance and it does fit on nicely. Oh, there it is. It's actually a light brown plastic, but there's some dark brown and some black in there just to bring out some of that detail in her hair. I think the main thing I don't like about this figure is her cape. Now the cape, it is a really nice soft material, so it's not going to get in the way of anything. But it is a little bit heavy, so it does make her just a little bit back heavy. You gotta pose her just right, otherwise she's gonna keep falling over, as you can see. And it is going off to one side. It's really stylized, and I do like that. But again, really would have preferred a soft goods cape, or at least a cape that hangs a little bit better, because if she falls over, she leans over to one side, so that is something to be aware about. Having a look at the bat emblem here, I do like that everything on here is sculpted. There's no painted detail, it's sculpted detail. And you can see the bat does go onto a backpack that she has on her right now, which it does look like the cape is glued onto the backpack. And the backpack's actually fairly nicely detailed. It doesn't have any paint apps on it, but you can see the straps, the line work on it is really good. And something that is a little subtle, but it is there, line work all throughout the figure. You can see we do have some line work up here on her shoulders, on her chest right here, going down to her abdomen. No line work on the arms, unfortunately. Actually, we do have some. I didn't see that initially, but we do have some line work coming on the inside of her arms. Really love the gauntlet that she has on her right now. It does have sort of a bat shape to it. You can see the ears, and then it goes up into the wings, going all the way around. She, of course, does have the little spikes right here, which are a little bit harder, but they're still soft plastic, so you don't have to worry about that breaking. The ball joints on the wrist could be hidden a little bit better, but they're functional, and we'll get onto that when we have a look at our articulation. Really nice utility belt, continuing that bat motif. You can see the ears right there, the tail, and then it flares out into what would be the wings. We have like capsules right there. Her utility belt is nicely painted. It has 3 pouches on each side and then continues on to the back, where we again have some more line work going all throughout her costume, and that's really good. I would much rather prefer dedicated sculpts with unique lines and sculpts to them than something that is used throughout every figure. So really do like that this is a Batgirl sculpt and not just a generic female sculpt. Again, we get some really nice line work here on her boots. I gotta give credit where credit is due. McFarlane did a really good job with the sculpt and the paint. There's really not too many areas that I can complain about the paint, and it does look really nice, and I do like that. We do have some spikes right here on the boots, which threw me off at first because that's something we really don't see with the Bat family, but it fits the general feel of the figure, so I can't really complain about it too much. Boots are nicely detailed, and then we do have some peg holes, and even the bottom of her feet continues that bat motif. How awesome is that? It's a little detail that you really wouldn't think about, but they actually added it on. So I really do like that. So with their detail out of the way, let's actually get it compared to other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have the McFarlane Batgirl posed next to the Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Batgirl posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Batgirl posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And finally, here we have the McFarlane Multiverse Batgirl posed next to the Mattel Multiverse Batgirl and the DC Essentials Batgirl. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually have a look at Batgirl's articulation, and she does sport quite a bit of articulation. She does have a double ball joint here in the neck. Now, unfortunately, we don't get too much backwards movement because of her hair, but we do get some really excellent downward movement, as you can see. We would get some excellent head tilt if the hair wasn't in the way, but you can move that out and kind of simulate it, so that's kind of good. Does turn left and right, no problem. Again, the hair is soft enough that it does get out of the way. We do have a ball socket connecting her shoulder into the torso, so that does move forward and back like a butterfly joint, so I do appreciate that. Goes up and down just like a Storm collectible figure, so I really do like that. Arm does go up to about there, does a little better than horizontal, and I do apologize for the trains going by. Double ball joint, or double elbow joint right here, so it does work fine, and we do get bicep swivel. We do have a ball hinge here in the wrist, so we do get some up and down movement, which works really well. And we can turn that joint around so we can have some in and out movement. And of course, her hand does rotate on that peg. We do have a ball joint right here in her torso, although it is a little bit stiff, does provide some left and right movement, side to side movement, no problem. Crunches forward and back. It goes back more than it goes forward. And then we have a ball joint right here in her lower torso, so that does lean back a significant amount. Does lean forward. Could be better, but it's really functional going to the side and to the other side, so you can get her moving around. Legs do kick forward to about there. They do kick back to about there. Go out all the way horizontal, so I do like the fact that she can do the split. We do have a thigh swivel up high, but the way it's sculpted, it really doesn't function too well, but it does work and it is there. We have a double bend in the knee, and her knee does go up quite a bit. You can see exactly how far her leg bends. No boot swivel, which I'm kind of glad because that would be an awkward joint to sculpt, but she does have rotation right here at the ankle. Does pivot forward and back. We do have a rotation right there, so if you want to give her a rocker ankle, you just turn that peg and you can get it. So I do like that. And then we have a really generous toe hinge. So overall, Batgirl has a significant amount of articulation. So what we're going to do now is get her posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. So here we have the McFarlane DC Multiverse Batgirl pose for my final thoughts. And overall, it's actually better than what I thought it was going to be. I honestly was worried when I first saw the prototype for Batgirl. I didn't think it looked all too impressive, but having her in hand, it actually does look and function like a really good figure, so I am happy about that. Batgirl here is actually a really good figure. The articulation on her is amazing, and the fact that we get so much articulation for $25, it is pretty good. I'm actually liking this line. Now, a lot of people have been downplaying the DC Multiverse for McFarlane, saying that they're fragile, that they don't really function all too well. I've actually been putting my McFarlane figures through the ringers and haven't had one break, haven't had any issues posing them. So everything that you're seeing negative, like they don't function, they're fragile, it's pretty much just people who are trying to downplay the line now. There are quality control issues from figure to figure, but I honestly haven't felt any issues with Batgirl like she was going to break or anything like that. So I do feel that it is personal bias. If you're on the fence about these guys, give them a chance. You might actually enjoy them. I was really hesitant on picking any up, but seeing them in hand, I actually enjoy how Batgirl functions. If you are looking for Batgirl or any of the collective build Batmobile, whatever they're calling it, they are starting to hit stores now. I haven't seen any at any of my local stores, so if you are looking for them, you do have to be on the lookout for them because my area hasn't got the DC Multiverse in yet. Luckily, my local comic book store has, so huge shout out to Asylum Comics for getting this out to me so I could review it for you guys. And like I said, it will run you about $25 because she is part of the collect to build the Batmobile line. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, go check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other DC Multiverse videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. While you're at it, don't forget to check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.